Welcome to the webinar. My name is Lori Burns, and I am an NSCC EAL support specialist. In this webinar, we will be talking about common writing errors. Let's get started. Our objectives for today are to examine some common writing errors and explore how to avoid making these common mistakes. Here are the errors we will outline in today's session: parallel writing, pronoun use, lack of structure. Let's discuss parallel writing. Parallel writing, or parallel structure, also known as parallelism or parallel construction, is a grammatical technique that uses the same pattern of words in a sentence to create balance and clarity. Do you know about parallel parking? How could this relate to parallel writing? Well, you have to fit in between two spaces, keeping everything the same on both sides. Like parallel writing, you want everything to be the same on all sides. Look at this sentence. I like swimming, to read, and skate. Does that look good to you? If it doesn't look good to you, why do you think so? This sentence is not parallel. What does that mean? It doesn't flow smoothly. It is choppy. It is hard to read. I like swimming, to read, and skate. How can we make this sentence better? To make it better, we could say, I like swimming, reading, and going skating. Now we can see that all three verbs end with ing and flow together nicely. What is a clause? An independent clause is a group of words that contain a subject and verb and expresses a complete thought. An independent clause is a sentence. They often go together. You want to keep parallelism in clauses as well. For example, incorrect. The coach told the players that they should get a lot of sleep, that they should not eat too much, and to do some warm-up exercises before the game. Correct, parallel. The coach told the players that they should get a lot of sleep, should not eat too much, and should do some warm-up exercises before the game. Between and are words that are often used to connect clauses. They should also be formed with parallel structure on each side. Can you see the parallel here? Incorrect. We debated the difference between the weather in Nova Scotia in the winter and how hot it is in the summer. Correct. We debated the difference between the weather in Nova Scotia in the winter and the weather in Nova Scotia in the summer. Using both and. This sentence is incorrect. The books were enjoyable both to read and for discussing. What do you think we can do to make it correct? The correct way to do this would be to say, the books were enjoyable both to read and to discuss. Using pronouns accurately. Pronouns can make your writing clearer and easy to read. Without pronouns, Lori thinks that Lori should sell Lori's car to Lori's brother. With pronouns, Lori thinks that she should sell her car to her brother. It is easier to read the second sentence with the pronouns. The thing we have to be careful about is matching the pronoun to the antecedent. More on that on the next slide. Which one sounds better to you? Do you find one easier to read than the other? Do you find it easier to follow? An antecedent is a word, phrase, clause, or sentence to which another word, especially following relative pronoun, refers. So, the antecedent is what the pronoun is referring to. For example, in the sentence, Chelsea finished her presentation. Chelsea is the antecedent, and her is the pronoun. If we are to look at these examples, we can see that the first sentence is not super clear. Lynn and Hamza return to the house to grab his car keys. Whose car keys are they grabbing? Are they Lynn's or Hamza's keys? That is the problem. You have to be careful with your antecedents to make sure that you are being clear and people can understand what you mean. It is much clearer to say, Lynn and Hamza returned to the house to grab Hamza's car keys. Poor planning leads to illogical structure, making it hard to find information and disrupting the flow. A well-structured piece guides the reader through a clear sequence, making the message easy to understand. Documents confuse readers if they aren't planned well. This frustrates readers and can make the document almost impossible to use. It's essential to build a strong foundation and organize content for a smooth flow of ideas. Let's discuss some strategies you can use when you are planning. Before writing, plan the document's structure with an outline. Make a list of the concepts, topics, ideas you need to include. Use a logical and consistent structure. You can also include key terms and citations that show where you found the information. Then, arrange these ideas in a logical order, ensuring each point builds on the previous one to guide readers through your writing. We can give you outline examples if you need them. An outline is always a good way to see where you are going with a document. Before writing your outline, think to yourself, what are the main points I am trying to make in this piece of writing? What background information will my readers need to understand each point? What will novice readers versus experienced readers need to know? In which order should I present my ideas? Most important to least important, or least important to most important, chronologically, ordered by time? Most complex to least complex, according to categories? Another order? Organization really is going to depend on what you are trying to say and how you are trying to say it. There will never be only one way to do something, and you have to find the way that works best for you. Organization depends on the type of writing, the audience, and the context. Many writers use worksheets, templates, outlines. Some formats work better for specific purposes, so it's useful to know a few. Organization and structure strategies to try. Post-writing, revising. You should always try to make your document better or revise it before handing it in. You can make an appointment with the NSCC Writing Center for support with this. For good writing, the goal is always to make your work clear and easy to follow for readers. After writing, review to improve clarity and structure. Feedback from a professional or colleague can be helpful. The final document should be logical for readers. Logical means that it makes sense and that you can follow along easily. Here are some proofreading strategies you can try on your own documents. Skim your paper, pausing at the words and, or. Check on each side of these words to see whether the items joined are parallel. If you have several items in a list, put them in a column to see if they are parallel. You can also listen to the sound of the items in a list or the items being compared. Do you hear the same kind of sounds? Is there a series of ing words beginning each item? If something is breaking that rhythm or repetition of sound, check to see if it needs to be made parallel. And finally, always get someone else to look at your work. We miss things easily. If you can't get someone else to look, read it out loud yourself. You catch more this way. Take a break and come back and look at it with fresh eyes. Good luck. Thanks for listening to the webinar. Resources and references will now follow. There are many available resources for NSCC students. Please take some time to explore them. Visit the NSCC EAL page to view the schedules for upcoming EAL webinars, to book an appointment with an EAL support specialist, and to use the EAL guide for additional resources to help increase your language learning. You can find all of these resources on the Learning Supports Connect page and link on the screen. Connect is NSCC's intranet and requires your NSCC W number and login. References.